Alright, as promised, this is Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Game Gear. This game came out in 1993, roughly the same time as the Genesis version. The Genesis version was initially released in December of 1992, but of course that would have been in Japan, so I'm not really sure exactly when this corresponded, but it was very close to around the same time as the Sega Genesis Mega Drive version that it's based off of, which is pretty cool. I actually didn't know that Streets of Rage 2 was on the Game Gear. I owned Streets of Rage for Game Gear, and even that was back in the mid-90s. Like, I didn't own a Game Gear until 1995 or maybe even 1996. And I remember getting Streets of Rage for like a Christmas present from an uncle. It's either Christmas or my birthday. And again, this would have been probably in 1996. So I think at the time, this was a bargain, like clearance item at Walmart. And I was even surprised then, because even back in the mid-90s, I don't think I knew that Streets of Rage 1 was on Game Gear. And that was a pleasant surprise getting that. But definitely years later, I had no idea that Streets of Rage 2 was on the Game Gear until I saw this in a video game store just recently and picked it up. They definitely did an outstanding job on this port, considering this is an 8-bit system, and this is basically a Master System. This, obviously corresponds with the Master System version, but usually a little bit different. The Master System has a slightly higher resolution. The Game Gear, in turn, has a lower resolution, but can display more colors on the screen at a time. And I think they definitely took advantage of that in this port. It's definitely a colorful game. Looks great for an 8-bit handheld. And I even think they did a pretty good job with the music. The Sega Master System / Game Gear, never really known for its music chip. It's pretty much undisputed that the NES had a better sound chip than the Master System. And a lot of Master System and Game Gear games have pretty bad music. Considering, but I think they did a really good job on this. The music in this port is actually very good. It's definitely Streets of Rage. This game looks like Streets of Rage, it sounds like Streets of Rage, and you know what? It even plays like Streets of Rage. They did a really good job with the controls in this, despite only having 2 action buttons, basically a jump and an attack. You've still got 2 special attacks and your star attack, or your, I don't know what you would call that. I guess the star attack is the special attack, but you've got 2 super attacks and one special attack per character. So one of them is achieved by double pressing forward really quick, so forward attack. And then another one is forward back attack or up down attack. It works any way you do it, so you can go down up attack, you can go up down attack, you can go forward back attack or back forward attack. As long as you do that really fast, change direction on the D-pad and attack, that's one of your special moves. And yeah, you've still got your jump attack, your grabs, you can jump over and knock the guys down onto the ground. I don't think I've even figured out all the moves playing this. This is, really my first time playing this game. I played Streets of Rage 1 on the Game Gear, like I've said. Obviously played Streets of Rage 2 on the Genesis. But this is basically my first time playing Streets of Rage 2 on the Game Gear. Like I said, I didn't even really know this existed until I just picked it up recently. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of moves, more than I expected per character in this port. So again, this is a really good, 8-bit port. Obviously it's not exactly the same as the Mega Drive version, but that's kind of to be expected. And I would say, from what I've seen, it's already got a lot of the similar looking levels from the Mega Drive version. So. Again, look at the colors. Very colorful game. Am I right in thinking the Game Gear can display more colors on screen than the Sega Genesis can? I think the Genesis might have more color palette options in total, but as far as what it can display on screen at a time, I think the Game Gear's got it beat. Obviously much lower resolution, but again, this is a great looking game. Very colorful. Yeah, I would say definitely if you're a fan of the Sega Game Gear, pick this one up. It's a great port on the Game Gear. It's just another reminder of, how many good games there were on the Game Gear. I think it's a tragically underrated system. I think most people don't realize how many good games there really are on the Game Gear. Anyways, if you have a Sega Game Gear and you're a Streets of Rage fan, I would say definitely pick this one up.